philosophy. So, like I said the other time, I think my basic training philosophy is to feel better, not worse, both mentally and physically. And it sounds so simple, but when we start doing programming or start training people, it's really, really easy to get away from this. If we get sucked into what's current or what's new, or if we've had somebody for 6 months and we're training them, we read something online, we might be more worried about the sets or reps percentages or the depth drop from the height we're doing our box jumps. But is the person feeling better? Remember, they came to you to feel better, not worse. No one said, I want to feel worse, I'm going to go get a personal trainer. Or I'm going to start athletics and get into strength conditioning because I want to feel worse. Every single one of us started it for at least a simple reason initially, that we wanted to feel better. If that's to look better or to feel more confident about ourselves, that's still better. But then somewhere in that training zone, if we get sucked in enough and kind of lose our footing, we get more obsessed about the program than we do how we feel about it. So then we might end up being all dinged up and beat up, or really down on ourselves, right? Mentally too. We didn't accomplish what we wanted to accomplish. So it started off as this great thing, and we made us feel better about ourselves. And then farther down the road, we're actually feeling worse about ourselves because of it. If that's where you're at and that's who you're training, then it's not working. So 100% you have to, every time, every check, are you making someone feel better, not worse? And it's when you're training people, that's hard because everyone is different. We're not going to get too much into the psychology of it, but I spend a lot of time on the psychology because every person responds a little bit different. And when you're training at a high school or at a college, that's a whole big group of people responding different. So some people need a little bit of a kick to get going. Some people need a pat on the back. Everyone responds differently, and they respond different times, so it has to be fluid. So how you're responding to someone in their program needs to be geared towards making them feel better. Right? And it has to be geared towards making them feel better mentally as well. So if you're training them and they're accomplishing these things, but you feel like, I need to be the coach that yells at them all the time. I need to be this person who's just like in their face and telling them how a tough guy I am. They're not going to feel better about themselves, and if they're paying you, they're eventually going to stop paying you, right? Because they're not paying just to look better, they're paying to feel better. And if they don't feel like they're going to feel better, they're going to find somebody who makes them feel better. So you can have the greatest program in the world, but if you can't, create that atmosphere when they're there with them, they're going to leave. And you're not going to know why. Yeah. So once you have your basic philosophy like we talked about, everything has to funnel through that. So if whatever you are looking at or reading or thinking about doesn't make that test of feel better, not worse, it gets bounced out. It doesn't even get entrance into your program. It doesn't